Hey everyone, Krish here, coming back at you with our first sales call breakdown of 2026. So for today, we're breaking down a call of a 20-year-old agency owner based out of Norway, and he focuses on the US market and the home improvements niche. As always, I'm offering completely free, no obligation, no strings attached sales call breakdowns for any agency owners that want to get better at sales. Simply hit me up either on Discord or Instagram. Click the link below to join my free Discord community. I'm very active in there. And if you're an agency owner that's struggling to make sales and you want to make 2026 the biggest year of your business, it might make sense for us to work one-on-one together as well. So I've got a link below. Feel free to get in touch with me directly if you're keen to chat, and let's jump in.
How are you doing today, Paul?
I'm tired, man. I was working.
Yeah, long day today. Did you just get home right now, or?
Yeah, I just walked in.
Yeah.
Put on my t-shirt and shorts.
At least you have something on right now, man. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I'm just civil here.
I guess because I remember you spoke with my partner, and I know that you initially moved from Seattle to Utah, right? So you've kind of lost your like old market, the one you used to work with, and the one that are like very familiar to you. And obviously now there's no establishment right now in the new area in Utah, right? That's kind of what's happening.
Yeah.
And I guess like right now, like how is your day to day then, Paul? Like do
Okay, so bro, before you jump into asking questions like this, what you want to do is what I call position the call. So when you're positioning the call, you're basically setting up the context and effectively giving the prospect an agenda of how the call is going to go. Okay, now it's kind of a spectrum. It's like how formal you want your positioning to be. I go quite formal because I sell to real estate and to mortgage brokers. In your case, because you're doing like a labor niche, you don't have to be super professional about it. You can be a little bit more casual. You can just basically say, hey, look, how these calls typically go is for the next sort of 10 to 15 minutes, I've got some questions for you. Just going to run you through our system as well if I determine it's a good fit. And then from there, I can show you the system or something along those lines, right? And we can speak about a little bit more offline as like what specifically word for word you should say. But it's always good to position yourself as the authority figure. That way the prospect will know not to cut you off when you're asking questions. And you're also giving them some direction as to where the call is actually going to go. Because right now, he doesn't necessarily know where the call's going to go. And like he said, right, he just finished work and he's basically sitting in front of his phone screen right now. And he doesn't necessarily know exactly which direction the call's going to go in. So positioning the call is always the very first thing. I insist everybody does. Again, gives context, sets an agenda, and it's just a good way to let the prospect know which direction the call's going to go.
Well, I took a job last month.
Okay.
I had to take a job because I had a difficult time trying to get things going. You know.
Yep.
Because I was at GC in Seattle, and over here, I just wanted just to do concrete and then what do you call it? Fencing and decks eventually.
Yeah.
So, but this job wants me to stay, but once you own your own business, you're never going to get the pay that you want. So that's why I'm looking into fence.
Okay, so he just gave you a really prime opportunity right there. He said that when you work in your own business, or when you work for yourself rather, you don't quite get the pay that you want, right? So that's what we call kind of like an open loop that the prospect is giving you. It's your opportunity right there to cut him off and say, okay, well, how much pay do you actually want then, right? What we're trying to do in sales, specifically in discovery, is we're trying to build as much pain as we possibly can. So we need to always be listening intently for keywords. Now, right now, or even key phrases is another way to put it. Right now, he's just said to you that he's not earning the money that he wants to earn, right? He didn't say that word for word, but if you're listening intently like I was, I would automatically have a green light off my head and say, okay, this is my opportunity to now start building pain. And right there, you say, okay, cool. So how much pay do you actually want then? He'll tell you he wants 10 grand a month, 20 grand, whatever the goal is. Then ask him how much you want right now. You build the gap, and then we just keep on asking more and more paying questions at that point.
Fencing. I did a lot more I've done everything. I was a general contractor in Seattle, but here I want to just specialize just fencing and concrete.
Okay, just fencing and concrete. And do you already have a crew that's ready to take on work? Like, how's all that looking?
Oh yeah, I have crews. There's guys here locally. I was able to get a couple of jobs during the summer. I call these guys, and they're good guys. I just gotta keep them busy.
Yeah, okay. And I guess overall, just to dive into it and actually share my screen and share a little bit more of our system.
So another thing that he said there was he's trying to keep the crew busy. So what does busy mean exactly? right? Busy could mean few jobs a week. It could mean fucking 20 jobs a week. We just don't know what that means. The word busy, again, it's so vague and open-ended that we need to demand specificity from our prospects, right? And again, it's a really good way to build pain, because when he says he wants them to be more busy, that obviously means that right now they're not busy enough, and therefore he's feeling some sort of pain, whether that be on his bottom line, whether that be some sort of stress that he's dealing with. There's lots of different directions we can take that conversation. But again, we need to really be listening for keywords and key phrases like busy, like not earning enough money, like wish I was earning more money, stuff like this.
I'm a little bit curious because I know obviously you had that conversation with my partner, but I wanted to hear it from you as well. Specifically, like what made you want to decide that, okay, let me sit down with these guys and let's see kind of what they have to say, the reason for that.
Well, that's basically it. I just need to hear what you guys have to say. I have what do you call now, and like I said, in Seattle, I haven't advertised in years because I had like 4 or 5 builders that I just worked with those guys and never had to do any advertisement. They just call me and tell me, when can you start, you know?
Yeah. And you feel like that's not possible right now?
Oh, it's impossible. I don't know 5 builders here.
Yeah.
And those guys, you know, the last guy, I've only dealt with him, worked with him for 5 years, and he's just busy.
Well, when did you move again, Paul? When did you move from Seattle to Utah?
I moved here a year and a half ago. But I have
it's been like this for a year and a half then?
Okay, that's a really good question that you asked right there. That would be the same thing that I'd ask. So as soon as he says, you know, I've been here for a year and a half, you automatically jump on and you say, okay, cool. So it's been like this for a year and a half. So very well done there. Very good way of being able to stretch the gap between where he is and where he wants to be.
No. I had so much work in Seattle, so I kept going back. I've been traveling. And you know how it is with the wife and everything.
Yeah.
so I haven't.
Now, like, how long has it been since you went?
Okay, so he's just brought up the wife. So whenever a prospect brings up the wife, we always want to basically dive deeper into the wife conversation, right? And the reason why we're doing it is not because we necessarily give a fuck about the wife, and I mean that respectfully. I mean it more so from the point of view that we're trying to handle the wife objection coming up later on, right? So he's just said to you, you know the wife, ha ha ha, whatever the fuck it is he said. What we want to do there is say, okay, yeah, actually speaking of the wife, like, is she kind of involved in this decision with you? Is she a is she a business owner with you? Is she a decision maker? Like, what's her sort of role here? Now, at that point, he's going to say, okay, she's a decision maker, she's one of the business owners with me, or she's not. Okay, if she's not, then the next thing we want to ask is, okay, does she need to get eyes on this, or is it really up to you as to whether or not you're going to move forward here? Something like that, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to qualify whether or not wife has any sort of decision-making power in our prospect's business. Because sometimes, and I'll give you a personal example, right? In my marketing agency, my wife is actually also my business partner. She's the co-owner. So if I ever have to say I need to speak to my wife about some sort of financial decision, it's a very legitimate objection that I have, because I don't necessarily make that final call on my own. She makes it with me. That can sometimes be the case with your prospects, but many times it's not. But they're still going to throw the wife objection at you for another reason, because they might have joint finances or something like that, right? And again, if they do have joint finances, then yes, that is a legitimate objection, which you need to overcome, and we can come to that later on. But right now, the reason I'm bringing up the wife thing is just because he's already mentioned it. And if he's going to mention it now, then there's a chance he might mention it later on. Okay, so it's always best just to have that conversation with him now. Be very casual about it, though. Just figure out whether or not she's actually a decision maker. And even if you don't handle the objection right now, you can at least prevent it coming up later on, or you can at least prepare for it to come up later on.
Went back to actually do work in Seattle?
Last month. Well, 3 weeks ago.
The past 2 weeks have been a little bit more quiet than usual.
No, I've been busy working for this company. This company, you know, they called me up and offered me a job, so I had to take it.
Yeah.
Keep me here rather than going back to Seattle. It's a landscaping company. It's a landscaping company.
Okay.
And so they do more commercial work.
Yeah.
Irrigations, fencing, you know, all of that stuff, brickwork and all that, pavers.
Yep.
But
and I guess obviously you don't want to stay in that job, right, Paul? Like you said earlier, you definitely, the only reason you took it is to keep yourself a little bit up, floating on top there, and then not be able to just kind of drown down, and obviously not have to travel back to Seattle so often, which makes total sense, right? I guess in your mind, like what's the ideal time frame of when you want to just stop working there and get your own stuff going?
Well, it just depends. My issue is I get a lot of people calling me. Like yesterday, I got a call from a guy. That's why I was late. You know, so these people want to hire me to work with them, but I don't want to work with them. You know, I have to go drive 2 hours to go see his project.
Why don't you want to work with them?
I'm tired of working. I mean, I want to do my own thing. You know, I've done it for 34 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I understand. So you're tired of working for somebody else, in a sense.
Yeah, well, I haven't been working for anyone else. I've been working for somebody else for 3 weeks, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's not your thing at all, it seems like.
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. No, I understand that. That makes sense, man. It sounds like obviously right now the issue mainly kind of resides in you just being able to, one, get that presence up again and try to establish your experience a little bit more, because you have a lot of experience, like 34 years you mentioned, right? 34 years is not, I mean, that's more than almost 70% of fence companies that I speak with, right? So it's a lot of experience. Even though you've been a general contractor, fencing is one of those things you can apply everything to it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be specific with fences, but that's all cool, man. That's obviously the main goal.
Well,
I guess right now, just go ahead.
I'll tell you the reason why I want to fencing here in Utah, because it snows. It snows. I can do fencing in the snow. I can't pour concrete.
Okay, so right now what's happening is both of you are having a very irrelevant conversation. I think your demeanor is actually very good, by the way, bro. You've got a very calm, natural sort of energy to you, which is great. It's very professional, so that's good. What you've done here is you've effectively summarized what he said, which was really good, but then you went on a little bit of a tangent, maybe because you ran out of things to say and you weren't really sure of what the next question you were going to ask was, or something along those lines, which is fine. People do that when they don't necessarily have like sales skills to think of questions on the spot, so that's all good. The problem is to what you've done here is that now he's carrying on with that irrelevant conversation with you, okay? Now, what this is doing is it's not building up any pain. It's not helping understand the situation significantly better so we can then build up pain. And when I tell you that pain is like the main thing people buy off, I absolutely mean it. I'm going to keep on repeating myself here, because that's ultimately what we're trying to do with the questions we're asking in discovery. All we're trying to do is understand the current state or the current situation, build pain off that current situation, and then measure the impact of that pain, measure the impact that that pain is having on their business and on them personally, and just repeat that process over and over, right? But right now what he's doing is he's telling you why he moved to Utah and all this other shit, which is completely irrelevant. What we want to do here is politely cut him off and basically transition into another sort of current state or pain question.
Concrete or demolition in the snow. And the other thing, I just want to do one thing here. I mean, I still got to go back to Seattle and bring all my trucks and all my equipment.
Yeah.
So if I get this going, then I don't need to bring it here. I'll just sell it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can kind of start from here.
Yeah, I don't need an excavator to do a fence.
No. Absolutely, man. And
did
you ever, like in your, like all of your years of running your company in Seattle as well, did you ever touch any type of advertising, or was it just nothing at all? Never?
No, I had advertising. All these guys always called me. This last guys, you know, I actually hired them last year to get me up on, you know, here locally here in Seattle and Salt Lake, Utah. You can Google my company. It's PVF Construction.
Yeah. That's all good. Like having the Google presence is always a benefit, but as you kind of know, Paul, it only matters if somebody already knows your company name, right?
Yeah, I mean that's why I hired these guys, and I've got a website and everything.
Yeah. I guess you pop up like at top, like if I search up like Salt Lake Fencing Company.
Well, no, I did it as you know, GC, general contractor. Mm-hmm. And I paid them for almost a year, and I still haven't gotten anything.
Yeah. Google, right? Google thing.
Well, it's a private company that, you know, they do advertising for you. You pay them.
So he's just said that he's been using them for a year and he hasn't gotten anything, right? So again, another big opportunity for us to build pain. First question I'd ask is, how much have you spent over the past year? I would hope it would be in the thousands, because obviously the more that they spend, the stronger case we have to show them that what they're doing right now isn't working. And of course, the more they spend, if it hasn't worked, then the more pain they're going to feel as well. So I'd certainly be asking that. Then I'd be sort of asking other questions like, what didn't work about it? Why didn't you like it? Really just drilling in on the fact that it did not work. Sometimes a lot of junior sales reps feel a little bit awkward or uncomfortable asking these types of questions. And the reason for that is because they don't necessarily come up in our day-to-day conversations, right? So For instance, if you're having a conversation with a friend and a friend tells you some news that's not really good news, you're not going to keep on probing more and more to try and make them feel pain. Whereas with sales, that's effectively what we're trying to do, is we're trying to make them feel as much pain as we can, not from a malicious standpoint. So you don't want to make them feel bad about themselves or anything like that. That's not the intention. What we're really trying to do, though, is make them feel the pain of their current situation and the decisions that they've made that have gotten them here. Okay, it's the only way that we're able to sort of light the fire under their ass to actually do something different or do something about it.
But you hire them, then I don't. I haven't seen anything from those guys.
Yeah. Or are you still paying them right now, Paul?
No, I cut them off.
Okay. But you did it for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. You spent a year with them. Do you, like, how was that breakdown looking? Like, how much did you spend with them?
Great question.
The year?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. I just automatic withdraw. I gotta ask my wife. She would know. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't.
There you go. So there's another opportunity with the wife, right? So first he mentioned the wife, I think it was something to do with moving from Seattle to Salt Lake or driving between the states, something like that. The next thing he's now said is that he doesn't know how much he was spending, but the wife would know. That there tells me that the wife has some sort of oversight as to what's going on, either with his personal finances or his business finances, or possibly both. Okay. So even if she's not going to be a decision maker here in terms of like being a business owner, he might still throw the wife objection at you later on, which may or may not be a legitimate objection. We don't know that yet, but it's just something to be cognizant of moving forward.
A lot then if you didn't pay attention to it at all then.
Well, I never pay attention. My wife does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she take care of the finances side of the thing?
She's part-time. She's a school teacher, so she helps me out. Just keep my books. She keeps my books for me.
So this is actually another really good point as well, which I was going to bring up before, but it's worth mentioning now because the prospect's already done it. So another question that I like to ask when I'm speaking about the partner is asking what the partner does for work. The reason being, and he's just said now that the wife is a school teacher, let's just say, for example, you got two different cases, right? If you're speaking to somebody like this prospect and he goes, okay, my wife is a surgeon, well, that's actually really good news for you, right? Because it means that his wife is a very high income earner. Therefore, later on, when you go to pitch your service, it doesn't sort of matter what your price is. If he throws the price objection at you, that objection right there is very easy to handle because his wife earns so much money that they have a lot of cash flow coming in from like a household standpoint. So that would help prevent that objection coming up later on. Now, on the flip side, if he says that his wife works at McDonald's or something like that, that tends to be a lower paying job, that's when the red flags in your mind should start going off that. An objection will come up later on about speaking to the wife because of cash flow reasons, right? Because if he's self-employed, if he's a business owner and he's not earning the money he wants to earn, and we're about 10 and a half, 11 minutes into this now, we still don't necessarily know how much money he's earning because you haven't asked that question yet. But I would assume, based on what he said before, he's still not earning where he wants to be or what he wants to be. And then now he's also shared with us that the wife is a school teacher and she's part-time, meaning that she's already going to be on quite a low income or low wage. Okay. So these are, again, things that you need to be very cognizant and aware of, because later on, this is going to help you prepare for objections as they tend to come up. And right now I'm thinking, even if he didn't share this objection with you, it'd be something that come up in his head that he simply doesn't have the money to be able to move forward because he's not earning enough money right now. And also his wife is only working part-time on a lower paying job.
Yeah, Google, I think you already have some experience with it. It's definitely whenever I mention Google and I recommend Google to people, Paul, it's always when you have a established presence already. For example, if you were right now in Seattle and you were just crushing it as you were at that time, I would have always recommended you to go to Google because it's one of those things where you already have a presence and people know about your company. Very, very good for you. However, when you're starting off like yourself in Utah, people don't know you. They don't know the amount of years of experience you have and all that good stuff. Most important thing is to get in front of homeowners that are committed, motivated, and ready to move.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to do now, bro, is you're trying to disqualify Google and sell Facebook, okay? That is not really the conversation that's being had right now with the prospect. The prospect's more so talking about his cash flow situation with his wife basically being the one that looks over the finances. So you just want to stay on that conversation for the time being. Okay. I know that the prior conversation was talking about Google, how he tried to use it and it didn't work. It's fine. We can come back to that later on. But even when you're speaking about that, you don't want to speak about Google versus Facebook. You just want to keep on talking about why the agency that he worked with previously didn't work, what was bad about it, how much money did he spend, which you've already asked. Obviously, we don't know that. How much time did he waste? We know it was a good part of a year. What's the effect of the business now that you've wasted that year? Like, that's an impact-based question, measuring the impact. These types of things are the types of conversations we want to have. You can come back to the Facebook versus Google conversation later on when you're actually doing the pitch, but right now is not the time for that.
Yeah. I don't know if you're paying attention. I don't know if you have your attention elsewhere.
No, I'm
Do you have a TV behind you?
oh, I turned the TV off.
That's good that you call that out, bro, but also a little bit of feedback moving forward. If the prospect is ever on their phone from the start of the discovery call, that already should be a bit of a red flag. I always make sure that the prospect is in front of a computer. So I send them a text message the day before and also 1 hour before, reminding them to please be in front of a computer. If they're in front of their phone, by the time we actually jump on the call, I'll then say, hey, can you get in front of a computer? Okay. I wouldn't say I never take calls if they're in front of their phone. Like, from time to time I will, but for the most part, I'm not going to, just because of what you're noticing here, right? He's watching TV and he's a little bit distracted. It's really good that you called it out. But that's, I guess, going to be a lot of the guys that you speak to in this niche. Unless you actually tell them, no, I need you to be in front of a computer, a lot of the times they're just not going to, because it's just not convenient for them.
I'm looking at my laptop, my computer.
Okay. What's happening on your computer?
No, I just Googled my company name and it's still up. I shut it down, but it's still up.
Yeah. Supposed to be like that or no?
I don't know. It was because I shut down my labor and industry. I turned all that off.
Yeah.
But anyways,
yeah.
I mean,
see, like, this is just awkward shit right now, bro. It's going absolutely nowhere. I have no idea what the fuck is going on right now. I think you are lost for words as to what to say. He's obviously distracted by whatever it is he's doing. Asking him what's on the computer and shit's not even worth talking about. Just fucking focus on making him feel pain.
Cool. I wanted to kind of break it down for you as well, Paul. So if you kind of let me know what your thoughts are after that, we can kind of take it from there. Makes it a lot easier. Okay. Obviously the process that we've done, I don't know if you got a chance to take a look over our results and what we've done for fence companies, but we're on average managing over $500,000 in advertising spend every single month, and we're pretty.
Okay, so you already moved to the pitch now, bro, but that was with a very, very weak discovery, okay? I would argue you have uncovered almost no pain at all. He told you the very first point he made was that he's simply not earning enough money right now, so that was a slam dunk opportunity to jump straight into pain and really, really drill in on it. We know a little bit about his situation. We know that the wife controls the finances to an extent, or at least she oversees it, because he certainly doesn't. And we also know that he worked with an agency, did Google ads, and that didn't work for the better part of a year. That's about as much as we know. So when it comes to pitching, you need to be able to earn the right to pitch. Okay, that's what I tell all my students, and that's the way I've always looked at pitching as well. Because if we just jump into pitching where we've got nothing else to do because we've run out of questions and things like this, the pitch is going to be very weak, right? Because it's going to be very generic. We cannot do a very personalized pitch to our prospect without knowing enough about their situation. And right now, maybe, I don't know, 15, 20% of his situation at best, which is just simply not enough, bro, right? You need to go a little bit longer with your discovery. A lot of sales trainers recommend not doing that, whereas I come from B2B sales. That's sort of my background. And I know that you need to do a very, very deep discovery, because if you can do a deep discovery that goes for 15 to 20 minutes, then the rest of the sales call should only take another 20 minutes, right? I'm talking about the pitch and the objection handling. There shouldn't be too much to deal with after the fact, because you've done such a good discovery. There's so much pain that's been built in that discovery process. You then show them with the pitch how you're going to solve all of their pains, and then by the end of that, there should be very little objections that come up, almost none. The objections that typically do come up will be logistical as opposed to fear. Right now, again, it's just a very, very weak discovery there, bro.
Settled and down in our process and our system, we're constantly able to get at least a 3 to 4x return with our clients every single month. And it's one thing that we've been able to predictably do. Now, with that said, our main thing is just getting you in front of the right people, ready to move forward. That all you would have to do, I guess if I explain it in like a daily basis, right? You'd wake up, You take a look at your calendar, you'd see the exact appointments that we've set up for you. And all you would do, Paul, is you would drive out the actual appointments. These people, these homeowners, they're already familiar with you, your company, they know who you are. All they're expecting is a quote from you. What you do on your end is you give them the quote, you get them the estimate, and you get going from there. Our system works. We take care of just making sure that you're in front of people that are ready to go. Because I think, as my partner may have mentioned to you, it doesn't seem like you would have had an issue with sales or with actually building the funds. It's all about that first step, getting in front of people. Not to mention, obviously, all the branding.
Okay, so the other issue with this right now, bro, for your pitch, you're not actually showing him anything. Okay, you're just telling him a bunch of shit. I want you to think about it right now from the prospect standpoint. Okay, he's literally sitting in front of his phone. He's looking at you on something like that's this size, so it's not very big. Then he's got his laptop in front of him as well, and he's being distracted by whatever it is that he's looking at on his laptop. So right now, he's sitting there like this. You're speaking to him, but he's actually looking away and he's looking at his screen, right? Problem with that is you're not showing him anything. So all he's doing right now is he's very distracted, but he's hearing you speak a lot of words, and words that you're speaking are not really making sense to him because he's in the fencing niche, right? He's a fencer, he's a contractor. He doesn't understand what paid ads are necessarily. He doesn't understand how like booking systems and shit like this work. And we can't really expect them to, especially guys in this niche, right? So we have to show them stuff. So the best thing to do is to share your screen and show them some sort of slide presentation. If you've got it, show them what high level looks like, show them what a landing page looks like, show them what, like literally click to click and actually show them the step-by-step journey that their customers would go through after they've seen the ad, after they've clicked through the funnel, all that kind of stuff. And as you're doing that, you're then answering all the pain points that they gave you during discovery, right? So earlier, Paul, you mentioned this. This is how we solve that exact problem with XYZ solution, right? That's effectively how you're supposed to do it. Right now, though, and again, I mentioned this to you before on Discord, I'll say it again. The majority of the prospects you're speaking to in your niche are going to be the commander personality style when it comes to their buying archetype. These guys are visual learners, okay? They need to see stuff, and they're very results driven. So if you can show them results, show them the ads manager, show them the statistics, show them leads that are being generated and converted into bookings, which are converted into money, that's the kind of stuff that's going to sell these guys. Right now, you're just very wordy, but you're not showing him anything. So it's going to go in one ear and it's going to come out the other, okay? You got to remember, these guys don't understand digital marketing the same way we do, and they're significantly older than us for the most part, right? So technology is not going to come to them necessarily as quickly as it does to us, and we can't expect them to understand everything to the same level we do. So sometimes we need to bring it down a step, speak about it in layman's terms, and show them something step by step.
And the advertising that you get as well as that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, man.
So when you say makes sense and he says yes, you want to stop there and say, okay, cool. So what part of that made the most sense and resonates with you the most? Okay. And the reason why you want to say that is because you want to get double buy-in from him, right? He just said that it makes sense, but I personally feel like it doesn't. So if I'm going to ask him that question, now I'm getting him to explain to me what the biggest value proposition is and what made the most sense, just to see if he's actually listening and to see if he actually does understand. Because he says he understands, but I don't think he actually does.
And like, there's no telling that there's not an investment tied to advertisement. Obviously, everything has a price, especially when it comes to making more money. I'd like to break it down for you, and then you can let me know, because I know with you right now, working a job and then also just moving, obviously a couple of weeks ago, stopping with it, it is a little bit different. So I'll cover it with you, and then we can kind of take it from there. On average, what we see when it comes to clients, they spend with us anywhere from, let me open this up and see if I can find it for you, anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 a month.
Yeah, bro, you haven't earned the right to pitch, and you certainly haven't earned the right to pitch the pricing either. Way too early, because the only question you asked him was, does it make sense, right? Like, that's not enough buy-in from the prospect at all. We really want them to get emotionally brought in, number one, but logically brought in, number two as well, because when we're doing B2B sales, emotion is only a very small part of the overall picture. It's really based on logic. The times that emotion comes into it is when we're able to uncover enough pain that we can then get that pain to bleed over into their personal life and get them to start telling us about that, right? And if you go to my YouTube channel, watch my breakdown that I did of my video, you'll see how I did that with my prospect, speaking about his wife and how she's stressed out and stuff like that. That's the level of pain we need to get them to when we get them to open up emotionally. And that's also another way that we can get them to justify the price, because they're feeling both emotional and logical pain. Right now, though, in your case, he's feeling absolutely no pain at all. And you've already jumped into pricing, saying it's like between $1,500 to $2,500 or whatever the price is. there's something also which is called the price to value ratio. Okay, so what the price to value ratio represents is if you're going to say that your solution is, let's just say $2,000 is a round number. So $2,000 as an absolute number is $2,000, right? But $2,000 as a relative number might be really high or might be really low, depending on what's being brought and also depending on the actual value that the prospect sees in their mind. So, for example, if you say, hey, my solution is $2,000, but if you pay $2,000, you're going to get $90,000 per month in revenue, then that's a bit of a no-brainer, right? Because the value to price ratio is so big. But if you say my solution is $2,000 and he doesn't see any value in your solution, now it's $2,000 for basically zero return because he doesn't understand what the return is because you haven't been able to articulate that return to him properly yet.
That on typical gives them a 6-7 X return on investment. Typical clients that we see are easily going to like 50, 70K in recurring monthly revenue. Obviously, profit is a little bit different, but easily seeing a 20X on the upfront investment that they're doing with us. I don't know if that range is something that you are comfortable at this position or how that is looking for you.
Well,
Okay, so the price to value ratio was spoken about here somewhat when you say what kind of return they can expect. But again, because you didn't build up enough of a gap in his mind during discovery, right now it's like these are just like arbitrary numbers that are being thrown to him. He doesn't really understand what the situation of pain that he's in right now because we haven't helped him understand that through discovery. So yeah, that's why right now I don't think this one's going to close, but let's keep watching.
well, that sounds about the same as what the other company was charging me with that website.
Yeah. But I mean, that you didn't get anything, right?
I got some numbers that nobody returned, phone calls.
Yeah. Yep. The numbers that nobody returned. And then I'm assuming there wasn't anything consistent. And probably one of the things that they told you was that it was going to take a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same thing we hear every single time. And that is honestly the reason, Paul, that we didn't go into Google specifically, just because it's one of those platforms that it actually does take time and you have to spend a lot of money on it, which is why I mentioned earlier as well. If you were booming like you were in Seattle, I'd say let's go in Google because you have at that point a lot of cash flow to invest. It makes sense. Right now, what I'm saying that makes sense is a little bit more about the way that you kind of found us. Did you search up like our company name at all on Google or something? You didn't, right?
No, you guys were on Facebook.
Exactly. And the reason you found us is because, I mean, algorithms are crazy. And in the past 3 weeks, you've been slow. So what's happened is maybe you've liked some stuff, maybe you've seen some stuff. And what Facebook has done is it's put our ad in front of you when you are looking for more work. And hasta la vista, that's how we're on the call today. And so
So that's a pretty cool way of pitching Facebook ads. That's how I used to do it as well. So very well done there. That was very smooth. It's just unfortunately the timing that you said this was wrong. You should have done this at the start of your pitch when you were trying to do the Google versus Facebook thing before. Yeah, it's just bad timing, bro, but that is good. So keep that in your pitch, just place it a little bit differently.
it's very crazy how we're able to do it, but we can find people, Paul, that are looking for a fence, a new fence, a brand new fence, whatever material it may be. If that's on Google, Facebook, YouTube, wherever it is, we are able to put your company in front of them. And I guess you probably know this as well, that if they see your company, they see who you are, how much work experience you have, why they should choose you instead of anybody else. I don't think there's a reason for why people wouldn't want to go with you, essentially. Because the issue right now, as we broke down earlier, is what? Like you just not being in front of enough people. Right? That's the only thing. That's exactly what we would do here. Our startup process is super quick. You see results within a week. Like within the first 2 days of launching every single thing, you see leads coming in. Within the first 4 days, you see estimates being booked. And then it all depends on your closing rate and how well you are over the course of speaking with these people and actually portraying your quote. And you start racking jobs in as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want me to maybe show you something like about the system, walk you through anything, or go over any questions about that?
Sure. Just show me because with you guys, I mean, how things work with you guys.
Yeah. I'll cover this with you real quickly. I guess then in terms of, obviously, I know you spent similar amounts with one company that you did, which obviously you didn't have the best of experiences with. Spending some money like that right now, is that like something that is doable, or is it like, I just don't think that's going to be something I want to do right now?
Maybe a little less because it's holidays, and I'm trying to retire in 7 years. I've been stacking my money under my pillow, so I'm trying to save.
So he's just told you that he's stacked money under the pillow, which means he has money, he has budget. It's just, again, price to value ratio, right? Like He's just thinking in his mind, is what you're about to show me going to be worth the price? I've already been burned by an agency before. Again, the discovery was very weak, but he's not really feeling much pain or any urgency or anything like that. So the fact that he's asked you to show him what you do, I think right now he's just wasting your time. Let's carry on and see where this goes.
Yeah. Do you want to then spend less to be able to retire a little bit later, or spend more and retire quicker?
Well, no, I guess I just want to get things going so I can turn it over to my son, so I can retire and he has a life. Right now, I'm taking care of him and his wife and his kid.
Yeah. You want to kind of have, so this is obviously, I knew it from the start, but this is.
So he's just said that he's taking care of his son, his wife, and their kids. So this guy right now is basically saying that he's got a lot of financial obligation that he needs to take care of, which could be another objection that comes up later on. Again, there's not a lot you can do with that right now in this moment, but just be listening intently, because that will help you prepare for objections that can come up later on.
It is an important business for you. It is something you want to give down to your son and have him take over, and it is something you want to kind of give down, right? So I don't think that letting this business die down, it doesn't deserve to die down, is an option. It doesn't seem like it, at least.
I don't want to die because that's how I raised my kids. They all graduated from college and everything, except for my youngest. He dropped out and he's working odd jobs. So I'm trying to create something here locally here in Utah that he can just take over.
He doesn't have to travel long. And also, one of those things where you put so much effort into it, 34 years, 35 years, I don't think there's something that you probably don't know about the industry, general contracting, fencing, whatever it may be, right? So giving something up like that, especially when it gets slow, is not the ideal thing to do, right?
It's one of those things. It's one of those things, you don't give your son a fish to eat, he'll eat and he'll be hungry tomorrow. You got to give him a pole and let him go fish for his own. That's basically what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely, man. You teach a man to fish and he'll fish for a lifetime, right? He'll never be hungry again. But you can give him a fish once and, he'll be happy that day.
Yep. That's the way
he'll be happy that day and he'll be gone the day after.
That's the way it's been. I mean,
what's that?
No, I'm just, because this guy, he screwed up all his opportunities.
So I don't know if you're trying to share your screen right now or show him something, but again, bro, this whole conversation you're having with him, complete fucking waste of time. Just cut it. It's completely irrelevant. Just cut it and get straight to the pitch, or showing him the presentation, or doing whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Opportunities. This guy should be in the NFL right now, but he chose to get married.
You have an opportunity, right, Paul? You have an opportunity to give him a really good layup, right? Even if it's not the NFL, you guys can still be a team.
Oh well, I know this is lucrative if you do it right. So
yeah, absolutely, man. So here's the thing. I wanted to cover this with you. This is one of our clients in Georgia, Atlanta. Ranch Contracting is the name. His name is Abraham. This is how it looks like on your end. So as soon as a lead comes in, you would get a message. You'd get a text on your phone, Paul. This is how it's going to look like. So I know you're on your phone, but if you turn your phone like this, you should be able to see it a lot better and actually read it as well. See.
No, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just can't see you. Are you able to see my screen now?
That's for some reason the screen is small.
I think you maybe went out of the joining into the actual Meet app again, or the Google Meet again. It'd work.
Well, I can read it.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, this is just to show you, kind of just give you an example of how it looks like. The first step is obviously to get you a notification of that a new lead has came in. The most important thing at the end of the day, Paul, is the intent of people. Because I can sit here and tell you, hey, Paul, I'll send you 200 leads a month, and you'd be super stoked. But getting 200 leads is not as straightforward as just getting 200 leads, especially if all of them are kayaking. Especially with you told me with that website.
Okay, so this is a better pitch that you're doing now, but the problem is, bro, you've kind of split your pitch into two halves, right? The first half is what you did before you started sharing your screen, where you were just telling him about what you did, and then you presented the price. Then you went into that awkward conversation for however much time, and now you're actually doing the real pitch. But that kind of period of time was about 10 minutes, right? Because we're sitting on about 22 minutes at the moment, and I believe you did discovery for about 12 minutes, right? So you had 10 minutes of basically nothingness, where I was about to say he was kind of a little bit warmer, but even then he wasn't that warm again because the discovery was weak. But what you're doing now, you should have done 10 minutes ago when you started the pitch, right? So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, this is better that you're actually showing him something this time.
A company where you ended up paying a hefty fee, but got numbers that weren't working.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we want to make sure that obviously not only that the numbers work, but that we accurately have all the information as well. So when you see here, for example, when it comes to this lead, Elena Phillips, she was scheduled in for an estimate right after. The reason we take care of this for you is because you don't have to worry about, are these numbers real? Are these people going to pick up? Who do I have to call? Who do I have to follow up with? The only way that somebody is scheduled in is by a 3-step process. 1, we call them, they pick up. do they confirm their number, their name, their address, and what they're looking for, we deem them as qualified. The way that we deem them as qualified is by figuring out when they want to get started and what they want to get done. And also on top of that, any specific things that you want to know. The only way that you see these on your calendar is your ideal people that you want to speak with that you are able to close. And for example, as you can see with Wrench, it is consistent. You can see here another one booked in, another one booked in here. You can see Siobhan, she came in here and she was booked in for an estimate here. Mary here, you can see Earl here. And we go down and Earl will be booked in as well. So it's the same exact problem. And continuously, it's the same thing that we've done for him. We've been working with him for now 3.5 months. He's always booked. He's very young, but he's staying out and do what he can. I guess when it comes to this, what questions do you have, Paul?
Well, I like the idea where you guys, rather than texting me people's information and for me to follow through to get the appointment, you know, you guys are different. You guys hand me that. You know, you set up my appointment and I just show up.
Yep.
And try to close it. See, I like that.
Okay, so that's really good buy-in from the prospect. The next question we want to ask him is, why does he like that? Okay, we obviously, you and I already know why he likes that, but we want to ask him why he likes that. Again, because we want to get the double buy-in from him. We want him to say, okay, I like this because this is going to save me this much time, or because I think it's going to make me this much money, right? We want him to type some sort of tangible result or outcome that he can envision himself seeing once he starts using a system like this.
We can do it the other way as well, but whenever I work with people, and especially with you as well, Paul, like it's like you guys didn't start your business, Paul, to be able to take care of leads and call leads and follow up with leads and manage pipelines. Like that is not your guys' thing. Your guys' thing is purely visit homeowners, make sure that they are closed on the project, understand their needs, and get the job going. That is your role. And specifically when you're the owner, Paul, and obviously in the future you want your son to take over, you want to obviously have those habits of already being able to manage a company, already be able to manage a crew, already be able to know who's going where and what's. You're spending time on the phone and following up with leads and managing that takes away a lot of time. You being able to actually pursue what you should do best.
That's a very good talk track, what you said there, bro. Well done. That's something very similar to what I say to my prospects as well. So very, very well done there.
I lost my. Oh, there it is. I think that's like the main thing that we always try to make sure that we do is on the qualification. I guess with you, Paul, is there anything that you kind of want to know specifically when it comes to leads? Like, is there anything you want us to ask them before you speak with them, or?
No, I think, like you said, in my experience, I just have a hard time standing in front of him. You know, with the other company. You know, with you guys set that appointment. All I got to do is go in and close it, and I like that. You know, closing part. That's something that I pretty much know how to do that.
You've been doing it for 30+ years, so you know how to do that.
Yeah, well, doing what you guys are doing, you know, just putting me in front of people is just it's good. And then the other thing is, you know, for the past 20-something plus years, I haven't had to do that, stand in front of people and try to sell my product, is because I deal with these 5 builders, and they build multiple homes. So I do a lot of things, demolition, excavation. That's why I have all the equipment. So I never run out of work. So I never have to go bid anything because they already know my set price. You know, they just call me and tell me, when can you start? Put me on the calendar. You know, and the funny thing, all 5 guys are good friends. We go to Vegas once a
Okay, see, now he's just talking shit, bro, going to Vegas and fucking this and that. None of it's relevant. Cut him off. Let's keep moving forward. Let's try and see if we get some sort of commitments out of him. Let's get him to explain to us why this is a really good solution. How is it different from what he's done before? What did he see the most value in? When does he want to get started? All these types of questions is what we should be drawing the conversation through.
year.
What happens in Vegas, Paul?
It stays in Vegas.
Absolutely, that was the right answer.
You know, and oh man, I did it for about 6 years, and I thought I'd stop. I said, I'm too old. My kids are grown. I can't do this.
It was the only right answer, Paul. I was waiting. If you said anything else, I would have said, "Hey, man, this is not going to be possible." No, that's the only right way to say it, man. What happens in Vegas, it stays in Vegas. I agree with you there. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you want to get them to the point where maybe you don't go to Vegas. Maybe you can send somebody else there, right? As soon as your son takes over and things starts happening.
No, I don't want him to go. That's his problem. He was in Vegas.
Okay.
Oh man, that's his.
You don't want to. Yeah.
I mean,
that makes sense, man.
Well, this guy played football. He played for USC, dropped out, went to Kansas, dropped.
So that Vegas conversation was very funny. That made me laugh. But again, bro, now he's fucking just carrying on bullshit about his son playing football and all this shit. Not relevant. Cut him off. Let's move on.
Dropped out, and I mean, so colleges were his Vegas.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. He had some fun there. What do you think we need to do then, Paul, to be able to get you to that? I guess first question is, do you even feel like it's possible if we put our system in place, the project flow system in your company, we start getting you out there, start putting you in front of homeowners, we qualify them, make sure that you're in front of the right people. Do you just have like some slight belief in that we can get you more busy, get you more consistent work?
Just talking to you, yes, I do believe that. Some of the other guys were sketchy, but just talking to you, and you're passionate about what you do. So yeah, I believe so.
Good. That's the main thing, man. Because at the end of the day, if you
Also, when he says, yeah, I believe so, you just want to say, okay, so why? What specifically about the solution makes you say that? Okay, and get him to do a double and a triple buy-in. That's a really good response you got from him, but we just want him to give us more and more because it gets him to basically sell himself.
have any type of doubts, any type of like feelings that, hey, this is not going to work. Usually the gut feeling is what's right, typically. And I always like to advise guys to follow it. And I never like to make people make a decision that they don't feel like is right. It just honestly, no, what we've been doing for the last 4 years, and specifically 2.5 years ago, we started specifically just focusing on fence guys. That's like everything right now. You know, like it's very plug and play. As soon as we get started, literally we've had guys like just last week, we had a guy, a fence keeper from Houston. Right? His name is Sean. They jumped on last week. Literally within the first week, they closed 17,000 worth of project. It's one of those things where I just know how well it works. I just don't really try to do much a big deal of it. Like if somebody feels like they need work and they're ready to get going, I'm more than happy to get them started. I can't help someone that isn't wanting to get more work and that isn't wanting to help them. That's just something that isn't possible. It gets difficult in that case, if you get what I'm saying.
No, I hear you there.
Yeah, the main thing, man. I guess you mentioned a little bit earlier with the holidays. If this is something that you would want to give a shot to, would you want to wait after Christmas?
Yeah, I'd probably wait after Christmas because I got to convince my wife. Because if I tell her, hey, I want to do this now, she's going to look at me funny.
There you go. There's the wife objection.
And I guess your wife, she knows that. I guess at all. Does she know that you're kind of looking to get more work when it comes to the fencing side of things?
I was supposed to go with her. She's a professor over here at BYU, University of BYU in Provo, Utah. I was supposed to go with her to a little get-together at school. And I said, go ahead, I'm busy.
Okay. Did you tell her that you were supposed to having a meeting?
Yeah, that's why I told her, hey, I screwed up last time. I want to keep this meeting here. So she's good.
It sounds like she's aware then of you being able to like talk to someone and seeing how you can take on more work. And
yeah, I think with her, she just, she lets me do what I want to do, but she like to hear it, She likes to, for me to just get on the same page, so she knows where the money is going and all that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But I guess at the end of the day, I don't know. I think you do know it as well. Like obviously the business like responsibility, unless she's a 50-50 partner, it all kind of goes into your hands, right? Yeah. Am I wrong there?
No, it goes in my hands. She makes her own money. I make my own money, but she does my books. Yeah. That's when she jumps all over me.
She helps you out with the bookkeeping. I think that's an important part to the business, especially. I guess what if like, so she obviously wants you to be in a position where you're like not having to work that job you're working right now, in a position where you can get your own work, I'm assuming, right? Just based on the conversation we've had.
Well, if you were to... no, she's just tired of me going to Seattle.
Okay.
She wants me home, period.
She wants you home here, right?
Yeah.
But she does support your business and you wanting to have your own type of work, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
She's been with you for how many years now, if you don't mind me asking?
37 years.
Irrelevant question, bro. Don't ask it. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, he's already got the wife objection going now. So they've been together for 37 years. They've been together for fucking 37 days. It does not matter. Ultimately, he needs to speak to his wife, which to me, I actually think it's a bullshit objection he's giving you right now. That's just my opinion. It might be legit, but I'm fucking 33 years old now and I've seen this objection come up so many times. I just think what he's saying right now is bullshit, but yeah, it's just simply because he doesn't see the value in what you've sold him.
And she's been with you longer than you've done this work.
Yeah, well, we kind of started this together and we were having kids.
Yeah.
Then she went on to be a teacher and I kept going.
Even better, man. The reason I say that is because she's seen everything that you kind of went through. The highs, the lows, struggles, the wins. I mean, you guys have been together since then. Not to mention even getting to that point with someone is hard, right? But you being able to have it is definitely good, right? And it makes me feel like the last thing that she wants to do is probably be able to make sure that you are supported and you understand that you're doing the right thing for the family and for the business, especially wanting to give this over to your son in the future.
Yeah.
That makes sense, man. I guess if you do talk with her and you go over that with her, is this going to be something where you're like, okay, I'm going to talk with her for a couple of weeks now, I'm going to keep convincing her, and then by the end of...
let's just give it till Monday.
Yeah.
We got to teach Sunday school on Sunday, so she'll have a good spirit, so Monday will be perfect.
I guess that just out of curiosity, Paul, like, obviously it sounds like you definitely feel like this is something that can work. That's the side. Like you 100%, it's all good. I guess obviously wives is one of those things where we love them to death once we have them and we just respect them with all our heart. But you know how sometimes people are like, hey, just not do something just for the case of not doing it. I guess if she told you, like, no, this isn't something we want to do, what would you kind of do in that situation?
I'd probably override her.
That's a really good question to ask, bro. Well done.
So you know what? You chose to come to Utah and you take me away from work. So here I am. So it's basically I make the last call on this one.
Yeah. Cool. So that tells me right there, because that was, again, a fantastic question that you asked him. That's a really good way to figure out, is the wife objection real or is it fake? Basically, we know now that it's fake, right? He's just giving you the wife objection, but you've also asked him, well, if she says no, what are you going to do? And he basically said, well, I'm going to override her, meaning that he's scared of moving forward. Okay, because when it comes to objections, there's such thing as logistical objections and then there's fair objections. So logistics is what you've taken care of. Now you're looking at fair, because he's basically said, even if she says no, I'm still going to move forward. Well, then, what the fuck is the point in waiting then, right? So we know that for sure it's completely fear-based. I don't know if it's fair about actually moving forward per se, but my feeling and my hunch is that it's fair of working with you, because again, he doesn't necessarily see the value in what you've tried to sell him here, and he simply just doesn't feel the urgency or the rush or the pain or anything like that.
100%. It does sound like it. It does sound like you're the one making the decision, I guess. Because obviously she will be aware and she'll know, but I guess what's stopping you from just pulling the trigger now and getting going?
Yeah, well, like I said, I just want to bring her on board and make sure she's always aware. We've always done that with every decision we take, whether they agree or not agree, but as long as they're aware.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I respect that. That's one of those things where I'm like, okay, you know what? When somebody tells me that, I understand that they're serious. And at the end of the day, man, like if I'm going to be honest with you, Paul, the last thing I want to do is have people decide to do something that they haven't went over with their family. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. My older brother, he's just like your wife does your bookkeeping. He helps me out a lot in the company, and he helps me a lot with the numbers in the back end and just everything we do. And he's just the same way. Like he just wouldn't appreciate me doing something before speaking over with him or just making it make sense.
Yeah.
100% get you, man. On Monday, though, if I'm looking at my calendar, when is a good time to reach out to you and kind of see what you think?
About the same time. Is that okay? Be okay on 6?
Let me check here for a second.
I mean, either Monday or whenever you're available.
We're going on a seminar on.
So what you could try to do here, bro, is try go for a little bit of a temperature check before you try and schedule the follow-up. Okay, so a temperature check is where you try and collect a deposit. A very small deposit, it might only be 10%, 5%, whatever it is. You just want to try and get some sort of commitment from the prospect to see whether or not they're even serious. Tell them that the deposit is going to be 100% refundable. So if they change their mind before the follow-up meeting or whatever, you can just send them the money back. It's more so just a way to show that they're actually serious about moving forward, and at least that way you can turn off your advertising to that area, so that way you've got area exclusivity. Like, there's different ways that we can word this sort of stuff, but that's the best way to try and collect the deposit. And then if they still don't do that, that's when you just go to do what you're doing now, which is being able to set up some sort of follow-up meeting or something like that. But there's sort of different levels of commitment, and right now he's not going to commit to paying in full. He's not even going to commit to moving forward. So let's try and commit to at least paying a small holding deposit or getting his card details or something like that. And if that still doesn't work, then we'll move to the final one, which is just a commitment to change and follow-up.
On Tuesday until Friday, we're on a seminar, so we'll be out of office. Sunday and Monday works for me, and I'm assuming she'll be in a good spirit on Monday. That's why you wanted to do it on Monday, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the most important part, right? You can get them in a good spirit. That's what we need here. What we can do then, Paul, I want to hear with you if you're open to it. If not, that's totally cool. We'll just go ahead and on Monday around this time. Is that I can hold off your spot here, so that we're having actively calls with people and companies nearby to you guys, especially within like the Salt Lake region.
So it looks like you're about to collect the deposit now, so that's good, but you should have just done that prior to trying to set up the follow-up meeting. So, yeah, your head's in the right spots. Just flip those two things around and you'll be good to go.
And we're going to spend time, obviously, now before that seminar, seeing over who makes the most sense for us to partner up with, because I don't know if you got to see it, but we don't like to share any of the leads when it comes to companies, right? The last thing I want to do is have you and somebody next door go to the same people, because it doesn't work out like that. So I want to make sure that we just work with one company. The way that we do that is obviously by sit it down with them and just practice it with you. So obviously, if that's the case on Monday, where you're like, Hyder, let's give this a go. It will literally, just be with you. Now, if you want to, what I can do is I can hold off that spot for you, hold off that area. So obviously, every call that we take, it will be transferred so that we do it after that Tuesday. And on top of that, it is a little bit of a commitment from yourself of just like, okay, we want to do this, and this is a potential. It's a small deposit of not even $200. $100. You set down that deposit, and it's refundable. If you speak with your wife and she's like, hey, no, we're not going to do this, send it back to you. Are you open to doing that just for commitment of the business?
Okay, let me ask you this. I mean, I guess you're already getting calls right already.
Yeah.
I just want to stay within my Utah area is huge.
Yes.
It's huge. I want to just stay in the South End. I mean, Provo area, or what's that? Utah County, only in Utah County. And that's huge. I don't want to go to Salt Lake.
No, but you want to stay in Utah County, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. Is Provo, Leahy, Orem, Spanish Fork down here, right?
Yeah, all that.
Yeah. that's one of those things, right? Whereas for you, that's all cool, right? Whereas you want to stay in that area. However, let's say we get someone on that is a little bit of a bigger company that has more salespeople and they're based out of, let's say, West Valley City. If they tell us that, hey, we're willing to travel down to Provo and Spanish Fork, at that point, obviously, you guys will crash with the leads because they're coming down to your area, regardless if you're not going up. The only thing that we like to stop. So in the case of we just working with you, we lock off that area. So for example, if you're taking a look at this map I'm showing you right now, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
If you see this, obviously this would be your area. This whole red line with the Provo area or in Spanish Fork, all that.
Yeah.
That's the area that would be yours. So in the case of us working together, this is all your leads. Right? If somebody signs up with us here, they will literally stop at this point. Not getting any leads from Leahy or Provo. I don't know if I said that right. They're not getting anything from here. Their sole thing would be up here. They can go higher up if they want to. It stops. And obviously that is an agreement we signed together that you're protected.
Let's say we agree on that, just that area, and
Yep.
And sign today. What are we looking at?
In terms of the total investment?
Yeah.
The total investment, if you wanted to get started with us, is there's two individual splits on it. One is the actual advertising investment, which we allocate towards the brands, the platforms, and what you want to push out there. What I would recommend, especially in an area like yourself, when you're looking at this type of a range in Utah County, I'd recommend putting out at least $30 a day. And that is not upfront. It is a day-by-day thing, and it only starts when lead starts coming in. So the first part of it is that $900 a month, which is just purely for that. Second part of it is us to take care of, you know how I explained the whole program where we call those leads and follow up with them and manage all of that. The second part of that is the service investment, which is $1,200 a month. Now that $1,200 a month, Paul, it is easily broken up as well. Let's say it's more comfortable for you to start off with half. We can always do that because again, we are able to provide results. So you put down 600, you start getting leads in, you start seeing the work. Only 2 weeks after you put down the rest. At the end of the month, it still ends up being the same, but it's a lot more digestible when it comes to the actual investment. If that is easier for you though.
Well, that's not too bad.
It's not too crazy, honestly. It all depends on, again, I typically don't like taking on people that just don't know like a lot about the sales side, but that's why I like clients like yourself because you have that experience. So I have no doubt in you just being able to at least get a couple deals. And at the end of the day, if you get just one deal or one fence or two fence jobs, you're making a little bit of a profit regardless.
Well,
Anything above that is just pure.
I mean, just to get started, I mean, I don't mind just starting out with 2 or 3 a week, and then, build up from that.
Exactly. So it's a lot easier because I know in the start it's going to be yourself. You also want to make sure that you put that in place. And then once you have a little bit more crews and work is going, especially from the start of next year, I know it's just going to scale, rocket up. Because most people right now, they're a little bit of a hold. Like I know there's a lot of people that get jobs done before Christmas. It's a little bit different as well, right?
Yeah. A lot of times
cheaper though.
Well, a lot of times I don't like working with those kind of people.
Exactly. But
Rather,
it is a lot. It is a lot cheaper. I'll tell you this, Paul. Like it is a lot cheaper to get ads and running and get results now. And the reason is because there's a lot less people doing it in your market specifically now. The reason competition goes down is because most companies are scared of investing in themselves and investing in the company. So what happens is that you, as a company that is investing, more people start seeing your guys' work than anybody else. What's actually quite funny is that when people are ready again, right after Christmas, by January the 1st, because it's a new year type of thing, everybody else stops. So what happens is when everybody starts from January the 1st, I'm sure you've probably seen it where everybody just jumps into the gym at January the 1st and then everybody drops off after a week. Same thing. Everybody joins at January the 1st, so competition skyrockets for a bit. If you've already been out there, like for the 2 weeks before January the 1st and before Christmas, people already have seen you guys and see what you do, Paul, especially with your experience. They're like, okay, after this period is started and we need that fence, we're going with Paul.
Okay. All right. You told me on this product. Oh boy. Dang. I'll be truthful with you. I have another partner with another project. It's a cable company.
Okay.
And I'm trying to shake him off, but I have already invested money in it. And that's why I wanted to talk to my wife because, I mean, I like this deal. I just want to do fencing. I don't want to do cable.
Okay, so that cable company you've invested in a way where you might just get something back from it, but that's not something you ideally want to do?
No, I did it because I've been looking for something to build for my son. And
Yes.
I've done cable in Seattle too, so.
Yeah.
But I've got money invested in this thing, and I want to see if I can get some of it back right away. I don't want to lose out.
Okay, so this is a very random logistical concern that he's thrown at you, that he's invested in some sort of cable company. So we want to now start quantifying the investments and sort of understanding like how much have you invested in it? How long have you been invested in it? Have you made any money from it at all? Does it look like you're going to make any money? And we just want to, again, have to go back to discovery now and really understand the investment itself and see whether or not this is like a legitimate investment that he is completely tied up in, or if it's something where he has a little bit of flexibility where he can get out of some of it to free up some money to pay you. And like, this is the sort of stuff that we need to think about critically when we're trying to get into payment plans with our prospects, right? Because he actually might be interested in moving forward now, but he's apparently tied up logistically with something else. So now we need to put our problem solving hat on and try and help him figure out some sort of solution so he can free up some money so he can invest that your way.
No. And how is that process with getting that money back? Like, I guess just walk me through it. Would that be possible? How long time would it take? Or what are we kind of looking at?
He and I would have to go go to the bank and take my name and everything off it and get my money back, and try to see if he can buy out some of the equipment that I've already purchased. I don't know
If we think in like a time frame, like perspective, what do we think of?
I'd say probably just Monday. I think Monday would be good because I can go talk to him tomorrow and then talk to my wife. If I can get my money back from him, and I'm home free.
Yeah.
I dropped a lot of money because we bought drills and missiles.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. It makes a lot more sense to make sure that is done. I obviously don't. The last thing I want to do, Paul, is put you in a situation where you don't feel like you can fully allocate time and effort into it as well, because it's not my best interest, right?
No. I want to work with you. I just want to get my money back right now and just have my wife happy because she didn't approve what I did there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was a lot of money.
She did.
She did not. But but it was my call.
Yeah.
And I can't commit to something and then I can't follow through. So
yeah.
Yeah, this is a very interesting one, bro. This is like a mixture between fear and logistics, both happening at the same time. So based on that final thing that you showed him with the map and showing him like, the area that he'll be looking after if he moves forward with you and stuff, I think that's been able to now win him over a little bit. So that's very well done there. Now he's got some more logistical barriers that have come up. Number one is the business partner that he's invested with, the cable company. Number two is speaking to the wife because she still has to deal with finances and looks over all the cash flow and stuff like that. I still think the wife objection is not a legitimate logistical objection. I think it's still fear-based. The business partner thing with the cable business, that sounds like that is a legitimate logistical concern. So yeah, this is a very tricky one, which it would be very hard to close this just on the spot, given the different constraints he's dealing with. But again, to my previous point, we want to restart the discovery process here. Obviously not go too deep in it. We don't want to stay on it for too long, but we want to ask some key questions that are going to help us figure out how we can help him logistically get into a position where he can pay us at least a small amount for our retainer.
I'm going to try to get my money back. I mean, there's a lot of money.
No, I respect that, man. 100%, team. I do want to make sure that you are able to get that back and get that going. So you said by Monday, right? And that's obviously when you'd know if you'd be able to do it, yes or no type of thing in terms of the money back, right?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to wait till 6. Because after work, he and I would have to, go to the bank and take my name off and give me my money back.
Yes.
Or if not,
how about we do this, Paul? Can I share something with you real quick that I think might work, and then you can let me know if that is possible? I guess just to kind of get an understanding, let's say hypothetically on Monday or Tuesday we were to get started. Would you prefer going the route of splitting that initial investment of $1,200 or just going straight up $1,200?
I'll just drop the 12.
You drop the 12. Makes it a lot easier. How about we do this, right? Because I think you probably heard of it. Have you heard of the analogy of success loves speed and money loves speed? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something called the cost of opportunity. And I don't want that to be the case with anybody that we work with. What I want to propose to you is if we can, and this is all your shot, right? I know 1,200 is the starting range, so that is obviously going to stay there. But if we put down, let's say, not even, what would that be? Not even 50%. But if we put down $200, what I can do on my end is we can get every single thing set up in terms of the CRM account, every single thing in your account, and just get you onboarded. And what will happen is on that Tuesday, obviously it's going to be either let's do this right now or let's not do this right now. In the case of let's do it right now, we've already set everything up and we can get super quickly started and you're seeing estimates just that week. In the case of Paul, this not being the right decision and you not being able to get that money out, or your wife just deciding that this is not the go, it doesn't cost us anything. We'll refund you that $200 back and we'll just set the account up for someone else. But at that point, we will have that commitment from you in terms of just the time, if you're open to that.
Are you open tomorrow? Let me talk to the wife tonight. I can push her when she comes back from her party.
Yeah. Did you put down the deposit?
About everything. I don't want to make a call without talking to her.
Yeah, we're not making a call right now.
Huh?
Yeah. I said we're not making a call right now. The only thing that would happen right now is that I'd be able to let the team know to not take any more calls within that area. Because I don't want that to obviously happen, whereas we sign on somebody else. And I guess, yeah.
Like I said, I have a lot of money at stake with this cable business and I want to make sure I get it back.
Yeah.
But, I can't hold you back from doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know money is not the issue right now. It's just a wife thing and trying to get my money back.
No, absolutely. That's the main thing, right? It seems like, I guess, let's step away from that. Just money aside, Paul, real quickly. I just want to make sure that obviously everything makes sense. I guess overall, the conversation we've had and what I went through, I know obviously you want to go more into the fencing side than the cable side. And end of day, it is more of a bigger motivation for you because obviously you have your son that you want to make sure that you set things up for him as well. So there's a couple things on stake here, but I guess overall, do you feel like money aside that this is the thing for you? Do you think that we could provide value in terms of...
Hello? This thing froze.
Yep. You lost me there? Oh,
it froze. No, it froze for a few seconds.
Okay. Where'd you lose me on your end?
You were saying about my son.
Yeah. So what I was saying is obviously this is a little bit of a different motivator because your son is who you want to set this up, make sure that he has something going for him as soon as he kind of steps in, and then vice versa. I guess the main question was, in terms of like money aside, value provided in terms of what we do for you, do you feel like this could at least get you a couple of jobs and get you back on your feet again, like you were in? Not sure if bro just left mid-call.
Yeah, bro, it looks like bro just left mid-call. That fucking sucks, man. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you there, bro. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to go forward. I don't know. I mean, maybe you'll tell me something else on Discord. Yeah, overall, bro, it was a bit of a messy call. The discovery was quite weak. The pitch was pretty average as well, just because, again, based on my other points that I mentioned before, the pitch needs to be very specific to each prospect based on the pain points that we find out during discovery. Your objection handling was actually a lot better than a lot of the guys I've seen in the past before, so well done there. And this final sort of loop that you're bringing him through when you say money aside, do you think it'll still work for you? That's very good as well. So we can have another chat about this in depth on Discord. That's absolutely fine. But as far as the call is concerned, do let me know how it goes. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to move forward, though. I'm not sure sort of what happened here. Thanks for sending this one through, though, bro. I'll send this over to you now, and we'll speak soon.